Hello, my name is Burgess and we're in Cumber in County Down in Northern Ireland. This area is called Ballygraffin. You may have heard of it. We used to run an international horse trials here for several years, Ballygraffin International Horse Trials, and it was on Sky Sports, and we had a 1-star and a 2-star international class then. I've been working with Diane now for about 4 or 5 years. I'm actually an eventer. I'm not a professional eventer, I'm an amateur eventer, but I do compete at international level at 2-star, and I take my eventing very, very seriously. And it's very important to me that my horses are in tip-top condition all of the time. And we've 12 horses in the yard. I met Diane at Dublin Horse Show 4 or 5 years ago, and I was particularly worried about Cheeky, who you'll see, the grey horse. Cheeky was called Flurry Knox V, fantastic horse. He had competed at 2-star level and had won a young rider medal before I got him. I got him when he was 8, and he was really my schoolmaster at 2-star. Unfortunately, when Cheeky was about 16 or so, he had a fight with another horse between fields, managed to try to kick the other horse, got his legs caught and really got quite sore from that. He scraped a lot of hair off, and he just didn't seem to recover from it. He became very depressed. He was always the boss of the yard, very much the boss of the yard, and would have been the horse that I was closest to. And so he had a very special place and knew he had a special place and always had an air about him. And that had all gone, and he just had no interest in anything. He didn't really want to be ridden. He walked up the yard like a 35-year-old horse. He had just, in a very short space of time, had lost all of his zing. And I asked Diane if she would have a look at him, and I was so worried about him at the time. And she worked on him. She found various things wrong with him, and we realised that it had just been a combination of a lot of intensive competing, and knocks and bumps from that. Knocks and bumps, all my guys actually live out pretty much all year round, so they can do whatever they want when they're in the field, and unfortunately that quite often means that they end up hurting themselves through playing. And it just been one knock or one bump too many for him, and he had kind of given up on life really. Then fixed all of those, and Cheeky came back completely. He was completely back to his old horse. Now lots of other people had looked at him before and nobody could do anything for him properly. And he totally back to his old self. He's now, he'll be rising 20. I could still go out and easily win a 110 show jumping class with him. He is just so fantastic on the flat. I just press the button. I'll be doing medium and advanced medium dressage on him this winter. And he's amazing, and he's back to being boss of the yard again. All his pizzazz has come back again, and he's absolutely wonderful. Obviously, each time Diane comes, she looks at him, and any little knocks or whatever, she fixes again. But basically, he's in the peak of health, and I don't see me not competing him at that kind of level for years, because he loves it. And he particularly loves hunting. I've decided now that he's got older and he's not eventing, he can go hunting. And he goes bananas when he goes hunting. He just loves it so much, and he's got so much zest for life back again. And it's all thanks to the work that Diane's done on him. Diane's also treated Cleo. Cleo's quite a hot horse. She's a mare. She's very independent, knows her own mind, does very unpredictable things from time to time. Super, super talented show jumper. And when Diane first treated her, she had quite a few things wrong. Particularly, she had a problem with her stifle and her gluteal bands, and Diane worked on her, and quite amazed that she had been able to do so much jumping with so many bits and pieces that were out of alignment in her. But she was fixed, everything was fine. I only show jump Cleo, I don't do eventing because she's just that little bit hot, and she is the most talented jumper in the yard, so she show jumps. But, as I said, Cleo's quite unpredictable. She regularly jumps between fields to join a different horse. And one day, she would have been about 12 years of age, when you'd think she'd be getting sensible, she decided to jump out of this stable door. She was in the stable, calm, just decided to jump out, but it was worse than that. She sort of caught as she jumped out, landed on the door went forward slightly, strangely managed to get her hoof caught in the door, and being quite hot, she didn't lie until she was helped out. She thrashed and really, really hurt herself, and was off. Now that was just after Diane had left one time. Diane comes about once every 6 months to me, and she was really quite poorly. I had several people come in Ireland to have a look at her. They thought that she just would never come back again. And to cut a long story short, Diane sorted everything really, that she just about had every single thing that could be wrong with her that Diane could sort fixed. And she is now jumping the top of the uprights again. She's back to her old self. All of my horses Diane has helped one way or another, but just to pick another exceptional one is Harry. Harry was fine as a young horse, and then we'll look later, but he actually decided, again, all these horses are good jumpers, and unfortunately that means that they don't think anything of just popping over very high fences and hedges whenever they feel like it. Harry, when he was quite young, decided to jump over a very large hedge, which would have been at least 4 foot on the side that he jumped, and a wooden fence, post and rail fence, and landed on a lane where the drop is probably about 8 foot. And it was a tarmac lane, and he hurt himself as well quite badly. He had time off. At that stage I didn't know Diane. He had time off, and he came back into work and he was okay, but there was always something a little bit strange with his near hind. A little bit almost like a string halty action, but it wasn't definitely noticeable, but I could certainly feel it when I was riding. He was taken to vets who decided that he had a kissing spine. He was x-rayed and it was decided that there was a problem. The vertebrae weren't actually fusing, but they were a little bit too close together in his back. And the only option for that was to have an injection. So he had a horrible big long injection put right down into the middle of his back, which had the result that he wouldn't let anybody groom him or work with him, and he became really quite difficult. And it was quite a problem. And also he was a young horse. I didn't know how I was going to be able to get him to carry on competing, as supposedly you can when they're getting injections like that. And it just seemed to be a bit of a disaster. That was really the end of his career. But anyway, Diane came, she worked on him, she fixed various things, and the result was, I think she kind of fixed all of the fascia along the spine, and that kind of loosened up, meant that the spine could move. I don't know, I'm guessing exactly what it was Diane did, but I then had to ride him on a long rein to stretch his back, since he really worked over his back for about 6 months, and he just got hacked. And since then, Harry has stormed through 1 star. He's done about 3 or 4 1 stars, been placed very well, and will be moving up to intermediate now. So he's gone from a horse that pretty much had no career and no future in life to a fabulous career. As I've said, Diane has helped my horses with problems. The main thing is that the work that Diane does actually prevents them from having problems, because although there are those bits and pieces and things that happen to them out in the field, for the last 5 years competing 5 horses at kind of 2-star level, up to 2-star level, and Vinny actually, who I'll talk about in a second, has competed above that. He's been at the intermediate championships and is going advanced. It keeps them on the road. It stops problems happening down the line, because everything is in alignment in the horse and she adjusts things. It stops hopefully stops the problems that most people have. I've got several horses all competing at that level, and that's pretty amazing that they all can keep going year after year competing at that top level. Vinny is quite interesting because he doesn't even have the conformation to be able to compete at this level. He's very much built downhill. He does find dressage quite difficult. His neck's on very low, and his pelvis, I think before I got him he'd maybe had an accident, and his pelvis is really quite wonky. So anything out of alignment actually, it's like a double whammy on him and an extra problem, because he's already struggling slightly with his conformation. So it's very important that he's kept right, that he can keep doing what he does at the level that he works at. Vinny's pretty special. He tries his heart out, and Diane keeps him right. And I know that I wouldn't be competing at the level I am on him if it wasn't for the work that Diane does.